Welcome to another edition of Wake Up the Echoes presented by TireRack.com. I'm your host, Tony Simeone, and this is our final women's basketball show of the year. It's also our penultimate episode of the entire Wake Up the Echoes season. We'll talk with Micah Shrewsbury and wrap up the men's basketball year next week. But before we get to our women's basketball episode this week, we have to talk about the big announcement made yesterday that on July 27th, Notre Dame Stadium is going to host Chelsea and Celtic FC for a friendly here in the house that Rockne built. Should be an amazing spectacle in South Bend. In just a few moments, you'll hear me chat with a couple of legends from each club. It was a great conversation to hear more about the history of the two clubs. After that, we'll talk to Niele, the head coach for women's basketball, and break down their just amazing run in Greensboro to the ACC title. It was amazing to watch them, and they now get to host this upcoming weekend in the NCAA tournament. So it should be great to watch them as they go on their run through March. Finally, we talked to someone that is no stranger to the month of March. That's Arike Ogunbowale. Had a great conversation with her about her time in South Bend and what she's doing now at the professional level. It was a great chat as we covered all those topics with her. So let's get down to business and let's talk some soccer. All right, we've got a couple of very special guests this week. There was a big announcement earlier about the big match coming here to South Bend over the summer. I'm joined by Roy Aitken and Roberto Di Matteo. I want to settle one thing first, guys, before we get into your backgrounds. I want to teach our listeners a little bit about your soccer, as we call it here, backgrounds. I need to understand the pronunciation of Celtic. Is it Celtic or Celtic? We were having a big debate back here. We need to settle it for our fans that might
very
not
much Celtic.
Celtic.
Yes.
Okay, we were having a debate and we wanted to settle that. So anybody that's coming to the match this summer knows Celtic.
Well, you have the Boston Celtics on you here as well. So but
Yes.
we're the Celtic, Glasgow Celtic.
The basketball coach here in South Bend for Notre Dame coached for the Celtics, so it shouldn't be hard for us to remember. Roy, I want to start with you. Just for those that are maybe new to soccer that might be coming out this summer, explain your background with Celtic.
Well, I started, a long time ago as a 16-year-old. I played in the first team. I played over 650 games for the club, spanning about from 1975 to 1990. It was always my ambition to be a Celtic player. Supported the club as a youngster. The ambition is to play with the team you support and then hopefully be successful. And I managed to get both. I then captained the side for a lot of years as well. So it was, good memories and good history. But the club has such a terrific history over all the years with, giving young players an opportunity. And, I got that opportunity way back in the mid-70s.
Yeah. Roberto, for you with Chelsea, for those that don't know, what's your history with the club and what brings you here this summer?
I was signed in 1996 by Chelsea Football Club. The then manager was Ruud Gullit, Dutch international player. And I was playing in Italy before that. And so I played for 6 seasons for the club, retired in 2002 through injury. And then I always had association with the football club. And I then also became a coach and a manager. And so I have a deep connection with the football club. And then obviously in the summer they're gonna be having a fantastic game here, a pre-season friendly game between Celtic and Chelsea Football Club here at this magnificent stadium. I have to say, very impressive. We had the tour this morning, by Lee and Beth. They showed us around the university and the facilities they have here. So, and that's the reason why we're here.
Yeah, it's going to be the second time there's been a big opportunity to see a friendly here in South Bend. I want to hear from both of you. I'll start with you, Roy. Just walking around the stadium today, what kind of opportunity is this for these teams to play in Notre Dame Stadium in the summer?
Oh, it's a fantastic opportunity. It's a great honour, really, to be asked to come and play here, and to play against Chelsea in the summertime. It's going to be a terrific occasion. We're so impressed by the facilities here. The facilities are top-notch in every sport that's represented. They really do it at the top end, and it's an honour for the club to be coming here and playing, and to be able to play in front of our overseas supporters, because Celtic's got such a huge following in North America, and it's great for the players to be able to come here and show their skills and talents against Chelsea in front of supporters that maybe don't get to see the players that often in the flesh.
Yeah.
So it's great to come across here and this, the stadium's absolutely fantastic, isn't it?
I think I saw it. Is this the first time that Celtic's been in the States in quite some time playing a friendly?
Yeah, they've been over the years. They've been back and forward over the years. In recent years, it's more Japan, Australia, into the Far East with the connection the club has there as well. But the club's such a worldwide, supporters base. It's so great to be back here. I mean, over the years, Celtic have played Man United. I remember coming here in the 80s actually to play New York Cosmos. We played Seattle.
Really?
Away back then, yeah. That was in the early 80s under Billy McNeil, who's one of the famous captains of the team and managers. So, I remember coming here in the past. But in recent years, I don't think Celtic's been here, but they're still got very much a close connection, and especially with the Irish connection with the Notre Dame, the Irish connection of Celtic in the past, been founded on the basis of the Irish immigrants coming to Glasgow.
Yeah.
So there's such a close connection. And only walking around the stadium today, I realise, how much the fighting Irish of Notre Dame is sort of there within the culture of this city. So there's definitely a great comparison there with our club and what's going on here.
Could be some home field advantage when they come here.
I would like to think so, yeah.
Roberto, for a Premier League team, of course, what's the importance of this time of year to get ready? It's obviously a lengthy season during the regular season. What's the importance of an event like this to make sure everybody is preparing the right way for the next Premier League season?
Yeah, I mean, pre-seasons have changed dramatically over the years. Nowadays you have these pre-season tours whether they are in North America or in Asia. I've done both. I have done some in Asia. I've done some here in the States. And so they've changed a lot. Before it used to be structured differently. Now you have these pre-season games in different cities around. So you're traveling around. So you need to really try and be very efficient with the time that you have when you are in a location, and try to get the most out of it, and also try and utilize the games that you have, this friendly games. You call them friendly, but not really friendly,
Okay.
Even though they're pre-season. These games to get all the work that you would normally do without the games, get them out of the players. Also, I think it's a big moment for a Premier League club, to engage with the fan base over here. Chelsea especially, they have a huge fan base in the States, but also in general, the Premier League is followed all over the world. It's a global brand and everybody follows it. And also, I think it's also to commercialize a little bit the brand, the football club, and so on, and also to win new supporters for the club.
Yeah, I think that's actually a great segue to one thing I wanted to ask you guys, is that I think you'll see, obviously, fans that have followed from a distance for a long time attend this game. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for many. But I think there's going to be a lot of fans at this game that might be first-time soccer fans, or a chance to maybe try to learn the game and then maybe adopt a team. So I want to hear from both of you just what to expect if you go to this game and you want to decide to root for Celtic or to root for Chelsea, what you might expect, whether it's pre-game atmosphere or in the game from each club, and how you might be able to latch onto these teams going forward after they play in South Bend. And I'll start with you, Roy.
Well, Celtic as a club really are more than just a football club. It's a way of life for the supporters back in Scotland and in Ireland and all over the world. They've been brought up with the Celtic tradition, been brought up supporting the club. So, there's that sort of passion involved with supporting Celtic. And I'd like to think that fans coming along to the game, whether they're new fans or whether they're fans who have been, maybe their father, maybe their grandfather, maybe their uncles, have all supported Celtic over the years. They're here now, first chance to see the club, to really get that sort of spirit behind what the club's all about. Because, as I say, Celtic is it's a specific type of club. It has great tradition, and it really is a club for the fans. It's always been about the fans. The fans are so important to the team. Every week in Glasgow, there's 60,000 come to the stadium. It's fantastic. If there was 100,000 stadium, there'd be 100,000 every week.
Right.
So it's to show fans over here, that what the club's about, and we'd love to obviously to pick up even more supporters. But once people learn about the tradition of the club and what, and again, as I mentioned before about the Irish connection, the whole thing, we'd like to hope we can pick up some new supporters here. But they'll come along and just enjoy the fact of Celtic and Chelsea playing together and having a great pre-season friendly. Hopefully it'll bring in more fans as well.
Roberto, if you're going into this maybe trying to adopt Chelsea as your team, you live in the United States, what should they expect? What should we latch on to if we're trying to root for Chelsea over the summer?
Well, currently Chelsea has a very talented young squad that is building for the future.
Mm-hmm.
So, but also, it has a lot of history, and so it's been very successful over the years. And, kids growing up, maybe in the last 10 years, as a kid, you look at teams that are successful and you sort of, buy that shirt because you want to be associated with it, right? We've all done that when we were
There's a lot of Notre Dame fans like that.
Yeah, well, you see. So I think, we probably we will have a lot of young fans that are growing up with Chelsea's shirt because they've followed the Premier League and they've seen the success over the years. And the future's bright because it's as I just mentioned, it's a young team that they're trying to build for the future. Exciting team, some very, very, very good individual players. I think the real success for the future is to build a team out of this really brilliant individual that are currently in the squad.
Okay. Well, guys, I really appreciate you both stopping by, and we got a jam-packed day, but thanks for stopping by. Looking forward to seeing this match in the summer. I think it's going to be a sight to behold here.
Because we also have Cameron Carter-Vickers in the squad as well, of course.
Yeah.
One of your national players, so that's something that he'll be looking forward to coming back over here and showing what he's really progressed so well with the club. He's a very, very important player for us.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye out for that this summer. I really do appreciate you guys stopping by, though. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Okay, Coach, it's been, I think, almost 2 months since we shared the seat. Charlotte did a great job filling in for me. I appreciate her a couple months back.
I was worried about your position.
I was worried, too. I mean, Charla could probably take anybody's job on this campus if she tried hard enough. She's that well-revered. So I appreciate her. I dapped her up, and we're all good. And she promised she wouldn't take it. But if in a pinch, she will come help out. Congratulations. ACC champions, was watching on the road with the men's basketball team. I have a ton to ask you, but let's just start big picture. Just how big was it for you in this program to win that title? What did it feel to hoist the trophy down there in Greensboro?
It was so magical for me, just being able to check that off the box as far as something that I really wanted to do here. Bring another championship back here and to bring that title back home was just, it was unreal. It felt really surreal.
Yeah.
To be honest, I was just so proud of the team, the energy. We had some amazing fans that were there. It was a sea of red, so to be able to battle and to get a victory there was just so huge for the program. And for me, just as a coach, it was something I really wanted to do, to win as a player and as assistant and as head coach. And it was a dream come true.
Yeah, going down to Greensboro, considering how the ACC is compiled, it can be kind of like a road game sometimes, like
right.
you're saying. I want to go back to the semifinal first, though. Virginia Tech, top seed. And then Kylie goes down. And I think everybody, again, I was on the road. We were watching it. We saw the news. We saw it happen. Like, oh, my gosh. Like, again, you feel terrible for her. Mm-hmm. But I thought there was some great footage, some great imagery from the locker room. And the team was very open, like, we did this for her. Just What was it like when that happened, whether you're huddled up after the game? What do you remember about the team kind of rallying around her when she did get hurt?
Yeah, it was bittersweet. It was a huge victory for us. I think the margin of victory was just something that's going to be in the history books, the record books, and left that court really excited, happy, and in the locker room, just tears, so bittersweet because a huge win for us, but also a huge loss, watching Kylie go down and not knowing the future at that point for her. The team really rallied. Kylie is one of those glue players. She's really close with everybody on the team. Unselfish, just a great human, just a great person, and we love her so much. So just seeing her go down and be in pain was something that was really, really hard to process. And after that, even just it took a while. It took a couple minutes on the court for us to get back to. It was very emotional for us, and so it took a little bit for us to kind of get back to. We were out of sorts a little bit. But afterwards, we just rallied behind her. I talked to her about how much she means to this program and that we're going to, here on out, she's our motivation and she's going to have a lot of support. We obviously a couple players that have just kind of going through that, especially Liv. So knowing that she's not going to be alone in this process, it was a special moment, but definitely bittersweet.
I've heard a lot of injured athletes talk about actually how important it is to have people that know what they're going through. So it's nice, unfortunately, obviously, but nice that she does have teammates to lean on. I heard you also talk recently about how useful Olivia's been off the floor, kind of as a second set of eyes and ears, and she sees stuff. Are there things that come to mind that happened in the championship game, whether it was Olivia helping with her perspective or Kylie just kind of trying to take on that new role? Like, how does everyone work together when they aren't on the floor and you're playing an ACC championship game? What was that day like as they kind of had to rally into new roles?
I think Liv's done a tremendous job just leading from the side, having a different voice, not being able to be on the court, but she helps navigate things in timeouts. She's always talking to myself, talking to the coaches, things that she sees. So I try to keep her engaged, and she's done a really great job of just staying engaged in whatever the team needs, energy-wise. And lately, I think she, as you know, like just we're in postseason, we're in March, and so the energy is just elevated, and you can just see her, just her energy on the bench, her cheering and just being really, really active. And she's done a great job of just trying to, bringing Hannah under her wing. And Kylie now is doing the same for the post. She's their voice now, and she's on one leg hopping around, just bringing that energy and positivity. And we're feeding off of both their energies.
Yeah. Let's talk about the title game a little bit. It's obviously a close game. Again, we were huddled around we were in D.C., and the men's basketball team's all watching on iPhones at their meal and happening at the same time. So people were seeing it happen at certain times. Okay, let's everyone put a phone down and just have one feed so you're not finding out before us. But a lot's going on there late. I want to talk about Hannah first. I think she ends the game with 22, 6, and 6. Her development, and she's been good from day one, but just kind of the way that she's gotten better, it seems like every month. How impressive was it? She played, and again, you had the luxury, I guess, of having a week or so off after, but she played, I think, 39 and a half minutes. I think Sonia played 40. I think Maddie played 39 and a half. Like, to put that performance together against a really good team like NC State, what did that tell you about Hannah Hidalgo?
I mean, she's been so consistent all season long, and she's a big-time player, and she loves the big stage. And so I knew no matter what, like, she's going to leave it all out on the floor. Our performance team did a really great job of having us prepared for 3 games in a row.
Yeah.
So credit to them. But when she's, the goal is right in front of her to win it all. I knew that it didn't matter if she played 40 minutes or 20 minutes, she's going to give it her all. And she was so locked in. I've been so impressed by her, and she made 2 big plays down the stretch. And for a freshman to step up and make, 2 big plays, the way that in the fashion that she did just speaks on her level of just eliteness, and she just rises to the occasion every single game, especially when it's a big stage and it's, it's a championship game, title game. I'm like, those are the games where I feel like she shines the most.
She doesn't feel like a freshman at all to me. Like, she just feels like she's done it a million times. My favorite, like, there was a great photo they got of her when she's like diving out and she's looking back, smiling. It's right. Just like, that'll be, I think, etched into all of our memories going forward. I want to ask you about Sonia, because I think when we had her on the show, I think she was out still, and she was banged up, and I'm like looking at her, like, oh, I hope you can get back and play. And she plays 40 minutes in the title game. Like you said, takes a lot, takes a village to get everyone ready. 3 games in 3 days. I guess just from your standpoint, to see the way she's come back from her injury, that's a huge component for your team. You're probably not where you are without her. What did it mean to see her come all the way back and be able to play 40 minutes in the ACC championship game?
She's a difference maker, and we're a different team without her in the first couple month or 6 weeks or however long it was. It was too long.
Yeah, it's too
but
long.
She's a difference maker, and she does everything, so many things well, and she's so poised, and she's a scoring threat. She can score all 3 levels, but she's also very smart. She's a great leader, and she's somebody that they feed off of her confidence, and having her on the floor makes our team better, obviously, but more confident when she's on the floor. And she's a difference maker. Like I said, we're a different team, with her, and to see the progression of what she had to battle this season and coming back. And, after Christmas, I didn't know when she was going to be back. So when she returned, it was like, everything just, it gave me a sense of calm, having her on the floor. And she just has gotten better every game by game and starting to feel like herself. That took a couple weeks for her to kind of just get her rhythm back. And when she got her rhythm back, it was like, okay, she's lights out, and it makes a difference for what we're doing and the reason why we're so successful right now.
Yeah, when she's playing at like the level she can, she's really fun to watch. And I think just her with Hannah, just the way it all works, it looks good when I watch it on the floor. Okay, I hesitate to do this, but I'm going to do it because I think it's almost impossible to not grab onto the parallel. Like, the first thing I've thought about when you guys made the run, I looked at the box score, and I just saw 6 names, and I just think 2018. and I don't want to throw the jinx. I mean, but like 2018, we're going to talk to Arike on this show. I think the average person looks at they're down to 6, and do they have enough? And I'm like, in 2018, you had enough. And you had great players, and you got great players. Just have you thought at all about the parallels between 2018 and again, you don't want to have the injuries, but that team, when I think about them, they just were so resilient. They kept coming back. Nothing fazed them. I see a lot of similarities this year. Does that ever come to mind when you look at this team or no?
Well, for me, I feel like it's kind of a blueprint for how we managed to be that successful, and just recognizing the things that we did, some things that I take on, just like practices and things that we overcame. And just for me, it's the idea that anything is possible. So more so of like, we can still do this, and sometimes when you feel like, your roster's depleted or you have injuries, sometimes that could just have a heavy burden on you, on your soul. And for me, I'm like, anything is possible because we've done it before. And it's definitely not the position that I wanted to be in. It wasn't what I envisioned, stepping into this program. I had so much depth in the beginning of the season, and especially this year, but it definitely shows me, like, it lets me remind myself that anything is possible, because that 2018 team was special and we found a way. And so that gives me motivation and encouragement as we're battling, this depleted roster right now.
Okay, one more about 2018, just real quick, because Arike is going to be on the show. I can't wait to talk to her. I want to hear just what comes to mind when you think about it. Obviously, the shot. I was going back and watching some clips the other night. I think we forget about the UConn shot. UConn was undefeated. And then also, I don't know where you would have been, Katie Lou, had a pretty good look at the rim that could have tied the game. Like maybe a little bit of a defensive breakdown by you guys late, on a crazy play. Just what comes to mind? It was an amazing weekend you guys had down there. It's iconic in just all of college sports. Just when you think of that year and that run, and Arike specifically hitting the big shots, what comes to mind when you think of that?
Well, the tale of two halves, I think the UConn game, we started so well, and Jackie Young comes to mind because they didn't guard her, and it was she ended up being the number one draft pick that year. And she was phenomenal in that first half, and it was just like UConn was throwing so many different things at us: the 1-3-1, switching zone, 2-3 zone. We were like, oh my gosh, they're throwing everything at us. And I'm, as an assistant, I'm grabbing all my play sheets, like, oh my gosh, like they just threw out 3 different or 4 different defenses. So it was such a wild game. And so for it to come down with Arike hitting that shot, step back shot, and she practiced it all the time, so
got the switch and then boom.
Yeah, she practices those. She did that all the time in practice and was always, shooting the half court shot. So it's something that I knew that she's worked on. But for her to make that shot, just our confidence just was through the roof. And again, like you mentioned, I think that they were undefeated at the time, or whatever the case may be. And it's always just a big rivalry with them. And for her to make that shot, it propelled us. And to do it twice within, 48 hours probably will never be done before.
Yeah.
And it was such a magical moment. It was something I'll never forget, that the energy of that turn. Final Four.
Yeah, you can watch the clip, and it's hard to not keep watching it. Like every time she shoots the second one, you're just like, this can't really be going in. And then it goes in. I love that. Every time I watch someone different, like I'll watch Muffet on one, I'll watch the bench, I'll watch Jack Swarbrick in the background start hugging people. Like it's just like, I don't know. It's truly an all-time amazing Notre Dame moment. Let's flip forward to this year. You guys are going to host, which is awesome, all the way up to a 2 seed, which is a great accomplishment for this team. How important is it for you guys to get a chance to host, play these opening round games at home, in a friendly environment?
It means everything. First of all, the highest seed since I've been back as head coach, and number 2 seed. And if you told me that, 5 weeks ago, we were fighting for our lives. 5 weeks ago, beating 5 ranked teams, I think, in a row. It was put us in position, obviously winning the ACC championship. But I'm so proud of our resilience, and it means a lot to host. And I don't take this for granted as far as March Madness. I've been blessed to be a part of many, but just being able to go through the selection show last night and to be dancing and to see our name and pop up on the screen, it still never gets old for me. So appreciative that we're dancing and excited that we can share this moment with our fans. And our last home game, it was a sold out game, and I feel like there's great traction. I think we're going to get a lot of support on Saturday, and again, just bringing great women's basketball to the South Bend means a lot.
Yeah, I'm excited to see the games this weekend, and then obviously, hopefully Monday.
Right.
Can't get one game at a time. I know the mantra this time of year. Last question I have before we take our break. It's more big picture, and it's tough because I know you're still in it, and I know there's still a lot to accomplish, and you want to win every game. Okay. but I think a lot has already happened this year where you can answer this question for me. Just how proud are you of this group? Because you even alluded to it, the perseverance, what they've overcome. Like you said, you're fighting for your lives in the ACC. Maybe you host, maybe you won't. Like,
right.
What, a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, now you're 2 seed. Just this group, in my opinion, there's just a different feel about it. It feels amazing. Like you said, highest seed you've gotten. So what comes to mind? Again, the postseason will play out. We won't talk after that. It's our last chance. I just want to hear you kind of sum up what this season's kind of meant to you and what this group has done and what makes you most proud.
Yeah, I would say the love and commitment to each other and the program. I think when we went through a lot of highs and lows, and NC State in particular, that was a really tough game for us. After that game, we regrouped and we talked about what we need to do to help us move forward. And it kind of all stemmed from the love that we have for each other and the love that we have for this program. And you could tell, like, we just recommitted to the goals. We recommitted to our vision. And I'm proud of them for that, because it's not easy to be able to be in a space where, it could have went completely left. We had a game on the road against Duke, a big Monday game, and after a really disappointing loss at NC State at home, we could have fallen apart, and we didn't. We picked ourselves back up, we responded, and we just took off after that. So a recommitment to the love that we have for this university and this program, because we come in with our goals, and we have that. We're working hard for these goals, and everybody's doing things individually and for the team. And we just recommitted to that, and then just reevaluated. Like, we're playing for each other. We're playing for something bigger than just our individual stats or whatever the case may be. And we found a way to be together and find cohesion. And I think we did that with, again, the recommitment to our goals and the love that we have for each other and the program.
Yeah, it's been really fun to watch. And like the run right now has been great. I'm wishing you the best of luck. I'm excited to see you guys in town. It's great you'll be in town hosting. Coach, thanks for joining me this year on the show. It's great to always kind of pick your brain and hear about how things are going. So best of luck going forward this year.
Thank you, and thank you for all your support this season. I really appreciate it.
All right, we'll take a quick break. All right, very special guest for our final women's basketball show. Arike Ogunbowale is joining us. I don't need to lay out all of her accolades. The head coach is stuck around. Coach Ivey, I want to just let you guys kind of take it. You had a couple questions for at least one big one, so I'll turn it over to you.
Okay, well, Arike, thank you for closing us out with this show.
For sure.
You're one of my favorites, and it's been an honor to coach you, but also an honor just to see your career and what you've done in the WNBA All-Star, one of the top 5 to be in the league, and even the stuff that you're doing off the court. You're so many brands, and your brand just in general is just amazing to watch you thrive. And so all I've ever wanted for you, Arike. So I'm super proud of you and happy. Super proud of you and happy for you. Obviously, we just had the selection show last night. We know our road. We start on Saturday versus Kent State. I guess one of my questions is, what's your mindset? What was your mindset as NCAA tournament started for you? Obviously, it helped us win a national championship in 2018. What's your mindset the week preparing for a game like that we'll see on Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, I think I just was always looking at it like it's a whole new season. It truly doesn't matter what happened, anything up to the first game of March, and it doesn't matter who the first opponent is, whether you're number 1 seed or whether you're playing the last seed. Like, everybody's playing their championship game. Like, it's championship game from day one. So you take that one game for granted, that one possession for granted, your season is done. So I think, like, the mindset that we had is, like, it's a new season. We have Notre Dame on our chest. We always have a target, but we got to go out there and, try to annihilate every single night, because you don't want to leave anything, because you have nothing else to give. If you lose, you're done. Like I said, and that hurts, sitting all those months just thinking about that loss, thinking about what you could have did and how you could have changed stuff. So I just say, look at it as a new season and, give everything.
Right. What's your, of course, I probably have the answer to this, but favorite moment at Notre Dame?
I mean, I think obviously the championship and like that Final Four run, but I would say my favorite game is that Tennessee game where we came back. We were down like 20. Yeah. Like, that game was so fun. We honestly, me and Marina, which we had never told nobody, literally that day of the game, we came home from class. We ate like a dozen cookies. Like, we just sat and we baked fresh
before
cookies.
The game?
Before the game, we baked
That's
fresh
why
cookies.
we were so slow in the first half.
In the first half, we looked at each other like, Hey, but anyway, no, that game was the most fun. But I'll say overall, of course, win the championship and just that Final Four, really that whole year, like everything we had to go through to get to that point.
I have a question then.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think a lot of people know Arike and Marina pretty tight. Was there ever a time that the two of them like got on your nerves at all as the assistant? Yeah, we
always got our what?
Well,
every day.
No, daily. Oh, okay.
It was if they did. I'm like, what's wrong?
No, exactly. Y'all acting weird. If we being good.
Yeah, they literally were all players, but definitely those two, literally my daughters, and so they would always come in. Messing with me or whatever.
So if they were being well behaved, as she said, something was wrong.
Yeah, something's wrong. They had to come in and make things difficult for me. But no, I mean honestly, like those were the two most competitive, players I've ever been around. Obviously, Skylar, Jewel, and Kayla McBride. There's so many great competitors, Deborah Peters, but those two were very special in the way that they played off of each other. They would drive each other crazy, and they were roommates. They were so competitive with each other, but they're great players, and they competed at a very, very high level. Like Arike was one of the. Watching her in high school, I'm like, she's a pro now. I started watching her in high school, so when she came to college, it was an easy transition for her. With her ability to play the game, she just was always elite. She had an elite mindset. She was so confident, and I think that's what players struggle with coming to college is their confidence. And I always felt like Arike had no fear. Yeah. Like it did not matter who we were playing. She's coming out and she's getting buckets. And I just love that swag that both of them had. And it changed our, the culture of our team.
Yeah. Another question I had was just like an observation. That Tennessee game, like you pointed out, those two were playing off each other in a way that I don't think I've ever seen. Like that was at least those two at their best in that second half, right? Like, did you feel that, Arike? Like that was kind of on another
for sure. Experience. Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, we were down by a line, and Tennessee was really good. Like they were really, really good at the time. So it was definitely a crazy experience, and especially to do it at home. Like every single night, Notre Dame brought the energy. Like there was never ever. It didn't matter who we play a home game where the fans weren't into it. So that experience was super fun.
All right. Well, we're going to take a break. Coach, thanks for stopping by. We'll take a break and come back with more with Arike.
And thank you, Arike, for being here. Love you.
Thank you. Thank you, Niele. Good luck. Good luck in the tournament.
Thank you.
All right, we're still joined by Arike. Thanks for sticking around, Arike. I want to ask you a bunch of questions, but I want to start with our Yeti coldest moment of the week. It's always a chance to talk to our guests about their coldest moment. You and Coach Ivey talked about some pretty cold moments, right? Game winner in a national championship game is way up there, Tennessee. So if I can try, I'm going to see, do you have another coldest moment in your Notre Dame career that comes to mind when you think of all the times? I have one in mind if you need a prompt. I have one. We talked about it earlier before you. I want to know if you've got one that comes to mind.
Honestly, I don't know. Like
Final Four, semifinal?
Oh, well, okay. I just be bunching the Final Four, both games into one.
So
honestly.
That's what I was going to say.
The experience of the 3 days.
I think that we sometimes forget the semifinal shot because the final shot is so incredible and you win it all. But the bucket against UConn is an amazing shot. Did you talk me through that play? And when you think back to that one, what was going through your head?
Yeah, I mean, I just knew I had to get a shot off. I think, what we decided to run and stuff, like I think the coach and, my teammates trusted the ball in my hand, but I just knew I had to get a shot off. And it was probably a little earlier because they definitely still got a shot off. Like Katie Lou almost hit that shot. But, I know it's kind of crazy. But, I just knew I had to get a shot off.
I was going to ask you about that. I think I talked to Marina about it once. Like you made the shot. And there's a second left, and somehow Katie Lou got to look at the rim from like the free throw line on the other end of the floor. What kind of defensive breakdown took place there?
Honestly, I don't know. I hit the shot, and I'm like signaling for the team to push forward, like as if the basket's. I didn't know what to do, so I'm just like, I'm not guarding anybody. I'm just standing like right by the inbound and just looking stupid, and then the ball goes over everybody's head. But luckily, Jess ran back, and like if she wouldn't have got a little hand on it, Katie Lou would have had a wide open layup.
I feel like there was a coach's clinic somewhere where Muffet has since shown that play and said, okay, this is not how we respond in the final second.
Yeah, exactly. Get back. You need to get back.
I wanted to ask
It's like me, Jackie, and Kat just jumping in place, basically.
Yeah. Well, it all worked out. I want to ask you about Muffet because she got her statue think a couple months ago. I talked to Niele about it, and she obviously, has been around Muffet for ages. You played for, helped her win the second national championship. Just what was her impact on you as a player while you're at Notre Dame and even beyond? Just what does Muffet McGraw mean to you?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously you feel it when you're in school, but I think I felt it most once I actually was gone and in the real world and by myself in a pro, and just being able to experience, how great of a leader she was for 4 years. Well, really her whole career, but obviously I played with her or for her for 4 years, and just how much she used her platform to empower women and to use her voice. Like, she never let anything, hold her down. Like, she was going to speak her mind, but her mind was always something great. So, it's okay to be around people who are going to speak their mind if they're always speaking truth and facts and wisdom. So just like, especially leaving and just, really being blessed, because a lot of people there's a lot of people who don't have a great college experience somewhere. And like, you never know, you could have to transfer. Like, just that, I chose Notre Dame, and I think I got as much as I could, in 4 years, and definitely became a better person, a better woman, leader, advocate, everything. Like, so just watching how gracefully she moved, at her position, like, she's one of the most influential women I know. Her and all the coaches, Beth, CEO, Niele, like, just having a strong group of female, leaders that I had to watch for 4 years was amazing. And then, like Niele said, we still talk. I still talk to Coach McGraw. Like, they still keep in contact. It wasn't just, school. It was family. Like, I can go to them about anything. I know they would help me about anything. Like, I stay at their house when I go, back to Notre Dame. Like, it's just a family, and that will last forever. So I definitely, appreciate everything that Coach McGraw gave me in my 4 years.
You alluded to it a little bit. I'm curious about the transition. You said you had your 4 years here, then you go off and start your professional career. It's kind of, I can't really believe that you've now been a pro for 5 years. It's amazing you've been gone for that long. What is the biggest transition? Whether it's someone on the current team or just anybody that's looking to obviously start a college basketball career, when you make the jump to the next level, like, what are the toughest things to go from a college basketball player to a professional basketball player?
I mean, in my experience, it was more the IQ side, the mental side. Like, thankfully, I've always been a worker since high school. So, like, body, physically, like, I think I was ready. I was, easily making that transition. But, like, just seeing how, older players think the game, like, I had to catch up to that. I had to watch more film. Like, it was a lot more mental for me than physical and keeping up.
I want to follow up, too, on something we talked about with Marina. So you guys played together for a short while in the WNBA, right? Wasn't she in Dallas for a little bit?
A solid 3 years.
3 years? Okay.
Yeah.
Did you guys get together and, like, take down the cookies before any of those games, or is that just before the game with Tennessee?
Nah, that was just some really childish stuff, and I don't even think I'll be able to move now if I tried to eat like as many cookies as I did before a game. That could not happen.
What was it like, though, to get a chance to play with her at the professional level? Because I know you guys were really tight here, and then to get to do it again at the next level. What was that like?
Yeah, I mean, she knew my game better than anyone. I played with her for 4 years, so it was good. Nice having somebody that knew, where I liked the ball. I knew where they wanted the ball, and I knew I could play well with. So that was great.
One more about Niele. Again, I think we're all just getting old. It's her 4th year as the head coach, which is hard to believe. But I know that she was,
wow.
Yeah, exactly. When she was announced, though, I know that around, like, the women's hoops alumni was, like, really supportive and really excited for her, which I think says a lot about the impact she had as an assistant. I know you guys were very close, and she talked to Skylar on the show a couple weeks back, and you could tell there's a great bond there. To watch her, and I know you're still close to her, but just to see her have the success she's had. They got their ACC title. They're a 2 seed. Like, she's really, it looks like to me, kind of growing into this role, and she has massive shoes to fill, like you just mentioned. How proud are you, just as an alum and a former player and someone that played for her, to see her continue to have success in this role as the head coach at Notre Dame?
Yeah, I mean, I can't really put into words how, proud I am of her, like, especially her being a guard coach. So I worked closely with her for 4 years. Like she said, like, she was like a mom to me, and I went to her about everything. So just seeing, I knew she would be successful. She learned from the greatest coach, in women's basketball, Coach McGraw, but just how it happened fast and how she just gets everybody to buy in, new players. She gets everybody because she's just such a great person. Like, it'll be impossible not to, want to follow her because she's a great leader. She knows basketball better than, anybody I know. Like, she knows basketball so well, but she's so passionate. Like, even as an assistant coach, like, she was just passionate. When we lost, like, she was probably the most mad. Like, when we won, she was the most happy. It's just like, she cares so much about her players and Notre Dame in general. Like, she loves Notre Dame. and just her players, and just, you know, she's just a great woman. Like, I can go on and on about her, but she's amazing, and I'm so excited, you know, to see the success she had for Notre Dame. I just know it's going to keep getting better.
Yeah, it's been fun to get a chance to talk to her as I do and kind of hear that passion come out. All right, one more question before we take a break. It's one I ask everyone, and I'm curious because I think when we talked a while back, maybe you said you didn't go to these places, but I ask every person that's a Notre Dame former athlete that comes on this show this important question. Were you a North or a South dining hall person?
I'm trying to think I think it was South.
South had the stained glass windows. North was kind of more modern. More
South.
Just by
South.
proximity?
Yeah.
That's the only reason why?
I think it's just because it was close to me. Like, I stayed in, like, Walsh and Howard. I think is that the one that's South right over there?
I think so. I don't, the geography, I don't know.
I just feel like,
I was not along. Okay, but you're going to give me a vote
far.
for
I think it was South. I think it was South.
Okay.
I think it was South.
We're going to put you down for South Dining Hall.
Yeah, put me down for South.
For what it's worth, I'm a North guy. We're going to tally up the votes at the end of the year and see where it all comes out. But
I think, South Dining Hall for sure.
All right, we'll take a break and come back with our From the Irish segment. Okay, it's time now for our From the Irish segment presented by TireRack.com. We're still joined by Arike. Here's a question from a listener. We always get one, Arike. It's from Andy in Warsaw, Indiana. Okay? Here's what he says. He says, Arike, do you get more satisfaction from hitting a clutch three or making a killer pass to seal the game?
Naturally a three. I mean, you know, I'm a scorer. Obviously, win of the game is win of the game, so I would probably be just as excited. But I like shooting the ball.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think I know the answer to this one. You like shooting the ball at the end of the game. Right?
Yeah.
all the clutch moments we talked about were you getting buckets.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, well, Arike, I appreciate you taking some time today. It was great to chat with you. Keep up all the great success. I echo what Niele said. It's been really fun to watch you kind of go from obviously Notre Dame icon and legend, but really then keep it growing and keep producing it at the professional level. It's been fun to watch, and you got a ton of people here in South Bend rooting for you.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
That does it for this week's edition of Wake Up the Echoes presented by TireRack.com. Thanks again to all of our guests this week for joining us on the show, including Arike Ogunbowale, the head coach Niele Ivey, and of course Roberto and Roy. We've got one more show coming up this year on Wake Up the Echoes. It's next week when we talk men's basketball, and we might get a chance to finally tally whether or not North or South Dining Hall is superior. Remember, please download and subscribe on Apple iTunes or on Spotify, and go to the YouTube page and smash that like button. Until next time, Tony Simeone saying, Wake up the Echoes.